Which of the following processes removes carbon from the atmosphere? The correct answer is B, photosynthesis. In the carbon cycle, you see photosynthesis absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Of course, you know, carbon dioxide is a raw material for photosynthesis. So it removes carbon from the atmosphere. So the correct answer is B. Which of the following cycles involves the process of precipitation and transpiration? That's the water cycle. Option A is correct. The transpiration, the loss of water vapor from the leaves of plants. So that's transpiration, and the water condenses to form cloud, and then when it's saturated, it starts falling down as rain. That's precipitation. So that's water cycle. The correct answer is A. What is the critical limiting factor for plants below the photic zone in an aquatic ecosystem? The photic zone is the zone where light, photic zone, there is no light, and so the correct option here is C, because at that point light becomes the limiting factor. So 23 is C. Which of the following instruments is used to estimate the number of plants in a habitat? It's called the quadrat. You can see the quadrat as option C. It is used to measure the number of a particular plant in a habitat. So you throw the quadrat, you check the number of the plants within the quadrat. You throw it again, throw it several times, and you take the average, and then you can extrapolate to know the total number in the farm. So the answer here is quadrat. Which of the following statements is true about sandy soil? Sandy soil is light and easy to dig. Option B is the correct option. Which of the following organism is a primary consumer? The correct option, when you look at primary consumers, they feed directly on the producers. So the correct option here is B, sheep. Sheep feeds on plants. It's herbivore. It's a herbivore, so it's herbivorous. The primary consumers are either herbivores or omnivores. So the correct option here is B. Like you look at all these diagrams, the rat is the primary consumer here, the rabbit is the primary consumer here, the grasshopper is the primary consumer. These are food chains. So after the primary consumers, the next is what? The secondary consumer. Okay, and after secondary consumer, you have the tertiary consumers. The organism designated P in the food chain above is normally sustained by energy from. The correct option here is A, sunlight. P is the producer in the food chain. The food chain always starts with a producer. Producers are plants, they get energy from sunlight. So the correct option here is A. Which of the following statements best describe the organism designated R? R is a secondary consumer. It's a secondary consumer. Secondary consumers feed on primary consumers. Secondary consumers are usually carnivores. They are carnivorous. So the correct option here is D. R is a secondary consumer. Which of the following diseases is not hereditary? The correct option here is B, scabies. Scabies is not hereditary. It's caused by an infection by mites. So the others, albinism, hemophilia, color blindness, they are hereditary. So the correct option here is B. The immediate product of meiosis in flowering plants is, the correct option here is D, pollen grains. Okay, in flowering plants, that's what we call alternation of generations. Alternation of generations. So it alternates from the spore-bearing form to the gamete-bearing forms, the gametophytes. Okay, so after meiosis, what you have is the gametophytes, and the particular one here is immediately after meiosis, the pollen grains in the anthers. So the correct option here is pollen grains.